Today we're taking a look at Father's mustache wax. And before you say anything in the comments, yes, I did indeed curl one side of my mustache and not the other. Stick around to find out why. Now, Colonial Dames sells their mustache wax in a 1/8 ounce lip balm container. It's fairly standard with your little friction pop off lid and the turn applicator on it. Fairly standard for these mustache waxes that come in a small container like this. The color of this wax is slightly off-white towards the yellow realm. However, when you go to apply it or you warm it up in your fingers, it does become clear. So it is more of a neutral color, as they call it, and should be good for, well, just about any mustache color without making a large color change. The scent is a very light scent, and now they don't say what the fragrance is, they just have it down as fragrance. So the best guess that I can make is going to be on the vanilla scale of scents. Now, it is a very light scent, so the fragrance of it does tend to dissipate rather quickly. The ingredients list is fairly short, containing just beeswax, petroleum jelly, lanolin, and the fragrance. Now, to apply this, it does say to stroke a generous amount onto your mustache or beard and comb through. However, I found that just took way too long on my mustache, although it did work fairly decently on my beard. So what I usually did was use my thumbnail to get a little bit of wax and apply it like I normally would. This wax does not have any claims to be any particular strength hold. However, I would have to say that it is probably a medium hold. Now, from my experience using Father's mustache wax, right away when I made my order, I ordered 2 of them, because usually when I get mustache waxes that are in a tube like this, I usually end up having 2 or 3 or more of them with different scents. However, this is going to be a single one, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to last me. But to my surprise, it actually lasted me the whole month. Actually, I've been using it for like a month and a half now, but I don't apply wax every day typically. So I'd say that you will probably get about a month's worth of wax out of this, as long as you are pre-curling if you have a larger handlebar. It definitely needs that help of the pre-curl, otherwise you end up what I have here, which is a very heavy mustache, because you end up needing twice the amount of wax when you don't help it out like I did on this side. And this side, even right now, I went a little heavier on it for the video than I did most of the month. Most of the month I did a much lighter and a much more natural looking mustache, which means that I just added just enough of the Father's mustache wax to hold all of the hairs where I wanted them, going in a curl while they were still fairly loose. Now, as you can see here, you get a fair amount of wax out of one of these tubes, and I found that it ends up being right about 1 3/4 inches of wax before ever using any of the wax itself. Now, you can get all but just the very littlest bit of wax out of it, which is fine with me, because some of these containers out there, you really got to get your fingers in there to scrape off the very last little bit. Now, over the last month or so of carrying this little container in my pocket, I have to say that it did hold up fairly nicely, which I appreciate, because I can still read the logo on it. Which means that I'm not going to get this messed up with any chapstick container that may have rubbed off or something. So I appreciate that. Now, the how to apply it is a little bit worn, but that's not really that important after you read it the first 1 or 2 times anyway. Now, who do I think that the Father's mustache wax would be good for? Well, I think that it's good for a few different people. If you're like me and you want a more natural looking hold some days, and you are training your mustache to go the way that you want after a shower, I think this wax definitely can accomplish that, provided that you have a little bit tighter curls. If you want larger curls, it may not be able to have the more natural look to it. If you have a chevron mustache, which doesn't really need anything fancy like this, but you want something to kind of keep the hairs a little bit tighter to themselves, I think the Father's Mustache Wax is actually a fairly good option for that, as it is good for getting those little loose hairs that might be going in your mouth, and just very simple application. Now, before I talk to you guys about the price of this, I do want to point out that this side of my mustache, where it was pre-curled, is still looking fairly good. However, this side here is starting to slowly make its way toward the front, which means that I would have to sit here and fix it all the time. Now, do I think this little tube of wax is worth your money? Well, coming in at right around $5, some's a little less, some's a little more. I think that it's actually a fairly decent wax if you just want to have something with you at all times to adjust your mustache look. Now, because it is such a small amount, you can get them in multi-packs as well. And if you're interested in that, go ahead and check out the video description below and pick yourself up some. Now, if you decide to go and pick yourself up some Father's Mustache Wax, or you've tried it before, leave me a comment down below letting me know what you thought or think of it. Now, if you want to use a lighter wax like this one, but not quite sure on how to get your mustache to naturally curl after a shower, check out this video up here. Down below, that's going to be one that you may enjoy as well. Until next time, as always, you have a good one.